my client's hair is not getting straight after the wash? Hello, my name is MJ. I'm a nanoplasty specialist. I'm very casual today because I was moving houses and I'm here to tell you, hairdresser, why your nanoplasty is not working after the wash. I'm here to show you a few steps that made us the company that provides the best training in nanoplasty in Australia. So I'm here, hairdresser, to talk to you about hair. Hello, welcome today to the SOS Flora. This program happens every Tuesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. And I'm here today to talk specifically about why the hair doesn't get straight after the wash. So we've got so many new clients coming in, and after training, more than 6,000 into, not 6,000, 6,700. That's the count that we've done today in the morning. That's the amount of salons that are using our solution. So after having so many people using, we know exactly what could be happening. And that's why I'm here to reassure to you, you need to master the technique. Buying a good product, and I'm going to say that again, buying a good product doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. If you don't know how to master the technique, you cannot be called nanoplasty specialist. You know what I mean? So I'm here today to talk about some very specific techniques for you to be able to provide to your clients the OMG effect. To actually do the iron without having the fear of rinsing the hair and not making the hair straight. So I want you today to understand that it's less obviously that the product matters a lot. The product matters a lot because this is a very difficult concept, and if I'm talking too hard, if I'm making the whole concept too hard for you to understand, please say, MJ, I'm not getting it. Can you explain it again? Or you have a very strong, pay attention on that because this is really serious. Or you have a really strong base that will make the hair straight without anything. You know those old products that you apply on the hair and the hair just feel like, and it kind of fade. It kind of fell on your hand. Or you have a really strong active ingredient which will make the hair straight by using it as formaldehyde and many chemical products, especially products related to relaxers. Or you have a good product, but you will need to master the technique. A gentle product, a healthier product, but you will need to master the technique. So you need to choose between them two. Or you're gonna get a product and you say, you know what, I'm gonna put on the hair, 15 minutes later, I'm gonna brush and the hair's gonna be straight without me having to put my hand up. Or I'm gonna use a product that is healthier, that it's better for my health, for the client's health, that it's not gonna break the hair, that is gonna leave the hair good, but I need to master the technique. So this is something that you need to choose. If you choose to use a harsh, really chemical product that you're gonna use on the hair, and in 15 minutes the hair is gonna be all straight without you having to move one finger, it's completely up to you and your clients. Obviously, you need to be able to tell them that this is not nanoplasty. But if you say, no, I prefer to choose for my health and for the health of my clients and family and friends, because I want to stick to this earth for a long time. I don't want to die because of, doing chemical products. Then you need to make sure that you understand that you will need to master the technique, because you can't have both. So I'm here to talk to those that chose to have a healthier product, a better product, and now that they have a good product, they want to master the technique. Okay? All right, so let's go. Parting from that principle, that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about. A really dear client, she sent me a video, and obviously I've asked her if she authorized me to post it, and she said yes. So I'm going to show you today. She followed everything, and her results were actually spotless. But she wanted the 100 OMG effect, and she couldn't get that because it was her first application. And I say to her, I know exactly what happened. I know exactly what happened, and I would love to show you a video to my students on the live on Tuesday. And she said, go ahead, I would love to see that. So I'm gonna share the screen now. Let me see if you guys can see. The video will start soon. Let me see. We choose, just 1 second guys, it's a 7 minutes video. That's probably the why it's gonna take a little while to appear here. But while the video is processing on Instagram, I'm gonna talk to you guys. Okay, great. What differs a amazing application to an average application? It's very small things. And those small things are things that we pay a lot of money to know. I've paid a lot of money, and when I say a lot of money, you cannot put into count. When I say lots of money is, I didn't pay somebody to tell me this. I had to do myself. Many people, and do it wrong and then redo it and have to do it wrong for me to deeply understand that. So I want you to pay attention on how the way she passed the straightener. So let me tell you the history of this hair. It is a highlighted hair. That the level was probably about 7, and her roots were coarser than the ends. The roots were much coarser, especially around the crown. Can you guys see that it's wavy? So it was a coarse hair, very thick on the roots, natural on the roots, straighter on the ends. Now I want you guys to see how she's gonna start passing the iron. Again, I'm not here to say that, she doesn't know. She does know. She's a nanoplasty specialist. She's great. She's amazing. And I'm so freaking proud of her. But there is a few things that we do in the technical part. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, I'm going to swap Floractive for the other brand because they're better. I'm so sorry. If you swap for Floractive from any other brand and you don't master the technique, you're not going to get good results in anywhere. Because the active ingredient is similar to all of them. We just have a better purity on our ingredients, which makes the product goes deeper into the hair. But if you don't master the technique, you can go to China. You're not going to get good results. Can you see that she's not dividing the hair in a few sections to work with this fiber? This hair specifically has one texture on the roots and another texture on the ends. When we have these kind of things, we need to work separately. What do you mean by that, MJ? I mean, if you have in one head different textures, you're gonna work different way in each part of the hair. The way I like to work is, I work roots, 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 middle, 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 ends, ends, ends. That's how I do it. But then there is one thing that you do with the straightener. That is, when you pull the hair from the roots. Mom, can you come here? I'm going to show on my mom's hair. Because we're moving houses, guys. And my mom is here with me. And I'm going to exemplify on my mom's hair. There is something that you do on the hair. Let me show you. Yes, if you can, would be good. Let me stop the video, my babe. Let me stop the video. You twist the straightener like this, creating a C. Move your head like this, yeah. So when you go down, and my mom has almost an afro hair, okay? And it's pretty straight from the roots, no waves, 100% straight on afro hair, okay? And for whoever thinks that my hair is straight, this is my mom. All right, cool. So when you pass the straightener, if you go with the straightener down like this, straight, you're gonna have one outcome. If you curve the straightener, can you see when you do this force to curve, you're gonna have more strength on the roots. When you curve, you create a C when you come in with the straightener. Guys, I'm talking about little techniques that makes a huge difference, because between a really good colorist to a really shitty colorist, there is the technique, because the ingredients are the same. They use the same ingredients. One do a really, really good job, one do a really shitty job. So what I'm trying to say to you is master the technique. And that's why I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday to tell you that is a way to do that. Because if someone was able to do it, you can as well. So let me show you again. I'm trying to demonstrate here. When you pass the straightener like this, you have one certain pressure on your hand. When you pass the straightener, you put the straightener here and you push down. When you curve the straightener, when you create a C with the straightener, there is another strength that you put it in. So on that hair specifically, I would work in a different temperature on the ends because it was straighter. I will work with a different temperature here and a different temperature there. What do you mean, MJ? I will have to be clicking the straightener, changing the temperature? No. You change the temperature by the amount of pressure that you put on the plates. When you put the plates together, you will see that they have kind of a softener. So you put them together and they kind of press together, and then you release them. And you put them together and they press and they release. That movement, it's actually telling you more pressure, more heat, less pressure, less heat. More pressure, more heat, less pressure, less heat. So when I pass the straightener, what I would be doing, more pressure, more pressure, more pressure, more pressure, medium pressure, medium pressure, medium pressure, less pressure, less pressure, less pressure. That's what I would be doing for that hat type to make sure that that hat type will become straight. On the roots, which is the area that was wavy. Yesterday I saw a lady saying, I had my hair done with your products it's still very curly and frizzy. So Rosemary, that's exactly what I'm teaching right now. I would love you to go back to your hairdresser and talk to them, or you can even tell us which hairdresser done your hair, because first we need to confirm they've used my products, how long they've been buying with me, have they ever been to any training, have they ever watched my live, because this will make a difference. It will make a huge difference. Someone that comes to me and say, oh, I couldn't get the hair straight with your products, they need to master the technique, because we can get the hair straight with the same products. So we just need to make sure that we are using the right pressure. So Rosemary, you're gonna talk to Sarah and you're gonna tell her, I have my hair done with you and it was lacking pressure on my roots. And she will definitely redo it or do something for you. Because on the roots, if you don't put pressure on the roots in someone with a really curly hair, as soon as you put water in, you're gonna see the waves coming back. You see the waves coming back, you will see the roots getting wavier or frizzy. So for you to avoid that, what you need to do, you divide this, first of all, you divide the sections very well divided so you can see clearly the roots. You can see clearly the roots. I can see clearly the roots. So I'm gonna get a section. Can you hold it again? What's the idea? And when I pass the straightener, I'm gonna curve the straightener. This is not for everyone. This is just for people with really coarse hair. When I pass the straightener, if I create a C, and let me tell you why this C story came from. I was doing a demonstration once for a really good salon, a salon that was using nanoplasty for a long time. And then she told me, MJ, I couldn't get the results. Can you come here and train my team? And then I say, obviously I can. Of course I can. I've trained everyone today that talks about nanoplasty. Everyone. And I say to her, of course I can train you. So, and she said to me, my clients say to me, why you didn't change products? And then she told her client, she said, it's not the problem that is the product that is the issue. It's my technique, and that's why I'm inviting MJ here to teach me that. I appreciate this client so much because she didn't take the blame on, oh yeah, it was the product, let me change it. If you change the product and you don't change the technique, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get there. You're not gonna get there. The technique is more important. At the end of the day, if you master the technique, you can do great results on Botox. You can do great results on chemical straightening, on keratin, on anything. So the technique is really, really important. Obviously, that the product that you are buying, you need to trust on the brand. You need to trust that they have enough time of you using. Because don't tell me, oh, I've got a really good brand. They've been testing the brand for 3 months. You know how long this brand will last? You don't. So I went there and I was doing the demonstration and she was watching and she's like, oh, you're creating a C on the roots. And I say, I'm creating a C? What do you mean? And she was an Indian lady. She's really amazing. I still have so much respect for that client. And then she said, when you pass the straightener on the roots, you create a C with your hand. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that. Because sometimes when you do something for a long time, you don't even know how you do it. We need to go back and master the steps to see what I'm doing that I can tell people what to do. Because I can say, yeah, you need to pass the straightener. Of course you need to pass the straightener. Every product you need to pass the straightener. But how you pass the straightener, is that what makes you from an average hairdresser to say, oh, it didn't work, to someone that said, no, it did. It actually did for any hair type. So when I realized I was creating this C, I say to her, okay, so I'm creating this C to put more pressure in my hand, because I need to put more pressure when I pass the straightener down. So you shouldn't be scared of creating a curve or creating more volume on the roots. Those things doesn't happen on Nanoplasty by Floractive. We don't have this component of, you need to change type, you need to pop the hair on this side, otherwise it's going to create a curve. You can't curve the ends, otherwise you're going to create that curve in. It doesn't happen on Floractive. You know what I mean? So I'm here to tell you that the technique is so important, because you can swap to all the brands in Australia if you don't master the technique. Or you can continue with a brand that has been respectful for so many times, which I spend all my time every Tuesday and Thursdays here giving you the source of everything I've learned all these years as a nanoplasty specialist and also as an educator for the whole country. Because let me tell you, it's not easy to educate one whole new country about a concept. You get a lot of rocks in the middle. You get a lot of people that think they know something, a lot of people that take advantage. So I'm here to tell you, you are capable. You are capable. You just need to master the technique. So if the hair is coarser on the roots, it means that you will need to put physically more pressure on your hands. When I'm doing nanoplasty, I see the veins on my hands on the roots when the hair is really coarse on the roots. But then I lighten my hands on the ends so I don't put the same pressure that I'm putting on the roots at the ends, because more pressure, more heat. So if you need to have different textures of hair in the same head, you're gonna change the heat way that you apply from the roots to the ends. Mom, can you put your hair back? So my mom has a afro texture. I'm not kidding. It's a really coarse hair, really, really coarse. And look at this hair, guys. Look at the shine of this hair. From the roots, right from the roots, straight from the end, from the roots to the ends. And my hair, the nanoplasty has expired for a long time. I just don't have the time. I think I'm gonna pay somebody to do while I sleep, because that's the time I have. So today it was a very valuable lesson, because this was the little tip, the little thing that this salon changed from being an average salon to be one of the best salons in the hills. In the hills in Sydney. They are one of the best salons in the hills because they mastered the nanoplasty application. And that's what I'm here to tell you again. If you want to become amazing, buying a good product is just the first step. It's just the first step. Buying a product that is reliable, that has a good manufacturer, that you can trust on the company, it's one step. The other step is, how can I be the best in this business? So for you to be the best, you need to master the technique. And the straightening part, let me tell you, after training so many people, I see how bad people are on straightening hair. And I don't say that proudly, because I wish I could say everyone rocks on the straightening. No. Especially if you don't have a really coarse hair, you will need to go out of your comfort zone to know how to do it. Because if you get someone with an afro hair and you pass the straightener the way you saw my client using, I'm not kidding, you're not gonna have the hair straight. The hair's gonna be boofy like this, and it's not gonna be straight at all. And whoever whoever try to straighten a afro or very coarse hair knows exactly what I'm talking about. Let me tell you something extremely sad that I saw a few months ago. I was walking through a salon. They didn't use Fluoractive there. It was just a normal salon in the shopping center. And they were doing the hair for the prom. And this girl, probably the first time in her life, that she was having the hair done for her prom, the hairdresser was blow drying her hair. After blow drying, she used the iron. And why I know that? Because the restaurant was just in front of the hair salon and I was eating and watching. She used the hair dryer and then she used the iron. The hair was still very boofy. It was a Middle Eastern hair. And then she tried to use the iron and she was curling that boofy hair. And I was just like, why? So you need to master the technique of using the iron. That will change your game. And I'm here every Tuesday and Thursdays to tell you it's possible. Put more pressure on your hands. Create this C coming out of the roots. Put more pressure on the hands and divide the hair in 3 sections. Start from top, middle, end. Don't go from the top to the end because you're going to lose speed. You're going to lose pressure on your hand when you go down. So top, middle, end. Like that, your game will be changed on nanoplasty. I kid you not. I hope you enjoyed this live today. Thank you so much for being with us. If you have any questions, come inside of the DM and ask my team. We're going to be available to talk to you. I see you on the next SOS Flora, which is going to be on Thursday, 12 p.m. Bye.